ready to stand.
Reaching you all the way from Ogba, Lagos, and we're reaching the whole world. We appreciate all our esteemed viewers on the platform. Today is
Interesting, with interesting breaking news and of course developments surrounding our political space.
Developments surrounding our political space. What's in the news this morning? The major one we have to talk about today is the statement coming from the former president of the country, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. He said Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder.
Is this chief or former president? He's not. He's not a chief.
He's a chief.
I know what chief.
Former president of the country, Olusegun Obasanjo. He said Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder.
I think he was talking about the issue of hunger, and insecurity. You saw yesterday how the ex-generals were just ex-general. The current chief of defense staff was crying.
Christopher
over because it's like the army themselves is becoming serious now. So I think on that response and so many other things happening within the economy, I think that was what prompted the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, to alert, of course, the political leaders themselves that we are all. He said everybody, when it explodes, then maybe possibly we might not have anywhere to hide at the end of the day.
But we've been talking about this keg of gunpowder for a very long time now, and it has not exploded.
Yeah, you understand?
Keg of gunpowder
every day, and now and then, but this one is threatening. It has gotten to that boiling point, and a lot of things need to be done. If actually, the leaders themselves mean well, because I listened to Christopher Musa yesterday. The welling was. I wasn't comfortable. If an army general can come and tell you that looks like all hope is lost, trying to curb the issue of insecurity, and on trying to curb the issue of insecurity too, hunger also is threatening, of course,
many challenges.
You're bringing up a lot of things. So, Mike, I don't know. We hope that all will be well at the end of the day. All will be well at the end of the day. There's a lot of things, a lot.
All right, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please don't allow the keg of gunpowder explode. You don't want it. Don't let it explode. Nigerians are crying, yearning for your help at this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is telling the security chiefs to step up their game, step up and end security challenges. Tinubu tells armed forces.
I think you added something to the security details or weapon or whatever, one or other judge too, hoping that they will see. But they are saying that the influx of these people is beyond, what just ordinary one judge that is not functional. I don't know. Nigeria they can bring as many as. I don't know how functional those things and how active and how motivated Nigerian military, to be able to challenge these people, whom some of them came to the National Assembly and said that these guys you are seeing, Boko Haram, is more sophisticated than Nigerian army. So I don't know how they came to balance that, but I hope yesterday there was hours of a security meeting. The president met with security chiefs. A lot of things were discussed, but we are yet to know the direction they are going to take at the end of the resolution.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, has said this morning. He said the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have started yielding good fruits.
Maybe up there, their experience. Bros, you remember that this is anything can trigger it within hours from now. So that's not the yardstick we should use to celebrate whether is so on the downside or on the upside. You can't do that. At that level where they are, it can be okay. No, Mike, it can be okay, but until it trickles down to the point that the ordinary man on the street can be able to say, okay, we will know that bros, everything that can happen, propaganda can push propaganda, one propaganda or that. Without propaganda, government cannot survive.
Without propaganda.
Yes, most of the things they throw at us are pure propaganda. There's no two ways about it, and we know.
All right, let's move to another one. What is in the news this morning again? Okay, let me quickly read out what Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, has said as regards the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has started, bearing fruit. The minister stated this at the 2025 ministerial briefing series held at the National Press Conference Press Center, Abuja, on Friday. The minister was reacting to the recent report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, which indicated that inflation has eased. Now, media reported yesterday that the latest NBC, that's the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, released said that Nigeria's inflation dropped to 23.7% in April from 24.23% in March 2025. From 24.3 to 23.7. Is that an achievement?
I don't think that's an
and has it impacted?
No. That's what I'm saying. When you see them, anything can happen in Nigeria. This National Bureau of Statistics that normally issue this kind of indices or reports or yardstick or information. Or on the economy. I don't know the measurement of which they use, whether it depends on when they are looking at foreign investment inflow, domestic power and all macroeconomy and all that. But those things, nobody wants to know about whether all these things happen. What we want to know is that at how much are we using our wherewithal to get us something that can, sustain us at the end of the day? That's when we begin to say, okay, maybe there's a slight delay. But tomorrow now, they will tell you that one factor or another, you see this thing moving. Okay, are you trying to justify that this very one is more trusted than the recent few weeks ago where World Bank issued, a release, a press release on the state of the economy in Nigeria that is very gloomy. Few days after they came out with a slight drop of 2% or 1%. Well, for me, I think they need to work more.
You're welcome on the program.
Thank you, Mike, for having me. Thank you, our ever attentive, ever resilient global audience. I want to say very good morning and a very good Saturday. Good morning to you all. I want to greet Nigeria as a whole too. The north, the south, the east, and the west. I say good morning to you all.
All right, good morning to you all. This is what Mr. Vincent is saying, and we appreciate all of you. Mercy of God is also here. You are doing good. Thanks for keeping the awareness. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chris is also here. I was saying, Obasanjo is one of the British colonial imperialists.
Wow.
Okay, Obasanjo is one of the British colonial imperialist agents working hard to keep the British business entity called Nigeria
alive,
going. But they will all fail woefully.
Mike, let me be honest with you. The more we continue this campaign, the more people begin to buy into the consciousness of distancing themselves, becoming real, taking their own destiny by their own hands, moving their own life and destiny by themselves, deciding. I think this guy from Burkina Faso has just set a certain standard that this guy we can actually do without them. That's what it means. And that consciousness, I believe that more generations that are coming, will be able to buy into that. We didn't know when he developed this character, but I know that in one way or the other, something must have influenced him, to take a drastic decision that this is what it is and this is the way to go. As long as Africa is concerned, we don't need these guys. You can see them having a good time, doing their stuff secretly. At the end of the day, they would come and tell us, Africa is this, Africa is there. They burden us with the IMF loan, do a lot of things, take our resources without even accounting for it, and then few that have compromised within us in terms of leadership, they are the people that they use as a threat against us. Then when we stand up to talk, the same army that is crying, that are being killed today, we say, where are you going? Where are you going? Just stop there. You want to protect illegality, criminality, and look at where it has taken them to now. The chief of army staff was crying.
So what should the citizens do?
No, you understand, because if they have allowed resistance, by now I think to an extent would have been having something to do, a leader that can be able to go extra mile to make sure that his own citizens, our own citizen, is being protected.
And this brings me back to what Atiku said. That's the former vice president of the country a few days ago, that in 2002 or so, during their own administration, when this Boko Haram started in Yobe, so they tried as much as possible to suppress them. And if after their own administration, other governments, leaders or presidents, continued, attacking them or combating them, would have, ended this crisis in the country.
You see, Mike, I want to just say one thing, that we should all know that government or governmental business is a continuum. In a situation whereby a government comes to the reins of government and do our own little bits in checkmating insurgency, extremism, and whatever, the one that will take after him should be able to go a step further to see that he had value to whatever he or she met on ground. But in a situation whereby Atiku made mention a very critical point that is worthy of note. He said during their own time, a case in point was Yobe, when those extremists tried to rear up their heads. Obasanjo and Atiku-led government were able to nip it in the bud. They closed that case to the barest minimum. Then successive government that took the reins of governance after them couldn't do anything. They now told it a kind of a business as usual, forgetting that the so-called people, the paymasters of all these extremists, are mostly contractors in the same government where they superintend. Then you begin to wonder, how can you say, okay, we are going for, to confront the criminals headlong, and we don't know where they are. People that knows where they are also helping us to find where they are lodged. Can we have a headway in such a strike? So it has always been like that. Successive governments that have taken reins of governance after Obasanjo, Atiku-led government didn't do much. All what we keep hearing is that humongous money has been slated for so thing. They took Tucano jets, they took this thing, instead of addressing the strategic points. Because modern warfare, we are already in a warfare, even if we don't call it, because whatever we use, either we say we are covering extremist, bandit, outlaws, it's just a matter of semantics.
Now I can see this on the screen. It has disappeared. One of our esteemed viewers there said, except unless the government is ready to catch Buhari, if not catch Buhari, everything I should.
That one is just being his opinion, because Buhari is not the only person that is involved in all this. Every successive government have their own moves. Even a case in point was during time of Jonathan, General Azazi did say then, advise Jonathan, there are moves in this government. Not quite long when he made such a statement, the man became a forgotten issue. I don't want to elaborate on that because everybody knows the history. Then the same thing, what of that lady that bombarded the hideout of all these extremists? The outlaws, Tolulope, Arotile. What became of her? At the end of the day, she was also called down in her prime. You can see the way we are wasting lives in Nigeria is so cheap, whereby people die cheaply in Nigeria, and nobody is raising an eyelid. So when you keep on hearing this kind of a thing, it does not give any mind, it does not give motivation to anybody. A case in point is what the last, the recent publication made by Nigerian Armed Forces, declaring that the people should come and enlist. How many patrons have they gotten as we speak? People are afraid to even enlist in Nigerian Armed Forces. That to show you that we have found ourselves in a quagmire, and I pray that we get out of it. But if it continues like this, I know Nigeria is, I said it before. I said it yesterday, and I've said it many times on this platform, that Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder.
All right, Onyeze, Obasanjo made this statement. Nigeria is sitting on the keg of gunpowder on Friday. Why he made this remark while speaking during Dele Momodu's leadership lecture. But the question I want to ask now is Nigeria truly on the verge of collapse, or Obasanjo was just exaggerating?
No, Nigeria became a problem to us itself.
Because he has made this statement more than three
yes,
times
yes,
now, but Nigeria has not collapsed.
Yes.
Is he just exaggerating?
See,
Or we are on the verge of
if you cut this leaf now, cut it now, it will still take some time for you to notice, there's a problem. So it has been alerting you that the corruption that brought Nigeria, the amalgamation that brought Nigeria, that led to Nigeria Biafran war, has continued unchecked. There's no political will to address it properly up to now. And to an extent, let me still try and give it to Obasanjo somehow. Because at a point he realized that these are the things that one needed to do. But unfortunately, the same people have not allowed Nigeria to move forward. You are mentioning Buhari and Atiku. Go and listen to Hausa boys now who are talking online. Are they will mention Atiku, they will mention Buhari. They say are they not the same thing? They are the same thing. They are the one who knows what to do. Femi said it yesterday when the issue of Bakassi came. The Igbo leaders gathered and stopped Bakassi. When there was Ikorodu boys, what happened? The Southwest leaders came together and stopped the Ikorodu boys. Badu. Then why is it that the Northerners, the Northern leaders, political leaders, including the Sultan of Sokoto, have not made any statement condemning? And he says they don't know what they are doing. Bros, they know what they are doing. They know 100%. Forget when they call the insecurity, they say they are not, those people who are saying the same thing are the people who are. Imagine the kind of killing that is going on to the extent that our military looks as if they cannot do anything anymore. The DSS is saying Nigerians defend yourself, you are on your own. And still, they are advancing, killing, kidnapping in different forests around the. And the man said the infiltration. Well, listen to Christopher Musa. He said the thing is too much. And they are flooding.
on daily.
But you look at the history of the influx of these people when it actually started. What Obasanjo talking about Atiku trying to make that kind of statement, I don't think Atiku is correct. I don't think Atiku is correct.
2002.
No.
In Yobe.
Atiku is not correct. You understand? The Northerners are using it as a political weapon. The Northerners are using these people, as a political conquest. Northerners are using this thing. But you can see the speed and the rate at which Buhari powered Ruga, powered everything, open grazing, on all the 36 states of the Federation, to the extent some governors in the eastern part of the country has become a victim of that up to this moment. They have not been able to recover. And not only hope, Omahi. I'm telling you. But thank God for the likes of Ayo Adebanjo that insisted that it will not work in Nigeria. Those ones wait there in the east there. You can see them now. Let them go to Ayo and Adebanjo. I'll be doing their funeral. Tell them go there. How many Northerners have visited Ayo Adebanjo? But you see that all of them is in Edwin Clark house. It tells you, it sent a certain signal to everybody to understand what is actually going on. that they don't have interest. The interest why they are killing Nigerians is because of the crude oil. And those ones there are the ones compromising and opening doors for them to come in. Go to Niger Delta, you weep. But try one day, visit, enter MPA, from MPA to Baramatu to Peroza. Enter through speedboats. He said, hey, Niger Delta. Finished! Then, when the earthquake strike there, you begin to look for where you are going to run to. Don't you know that where the crude oil is the bedrock of the rock of this holding this thing, and they have to hit it for them to, and they continue to hit it. Go and see the level of devastation there. Bros, Bola Ahmed Tinubu to just decentralize. Bro, if you continue to look at these people and wait, you are putting like I know how many times Buhari called some emergency meeting, service chiefs at the end of the day. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has started his own now. Marching order. He's no longer on top of the situation. Marching order. Let them march. Let us see.
All right, while giving his remark today, he cited China as an example, the revolution that took place in China. He said the Chinese government lifted about 700 million people out of poverty. 700 million people out of poverty. That's what happens to Nigeria. That's what he said. But this is the president, Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president. But this is the president that spent 8 years. Yeah, he spent 8 years during his own time. Did he lift 1 million Nigerians out of poverty?
Obasanjo.
Yeah.
You are referring to
Obasanjo. If China could lift 700 million people out of poverty, what happened during his own regime?
During his own regime, when he held sway as the #1 man, there's one, because there is always a landmark project or project attached to every government. A case in point of Obasanjo is our debt that was forgiven.
Okay.
And other government before him, they tried to be in the books of the Paris club and the London club and the IMF generally. How much of hearing were we given as a country? Obasanjo, before he left office, he was able to clear off our debt. But today, you ask yourself, is Nigeria not still indebted to this? Those people that gave us, that clean our debt? Then you begin to wonder, how did we get into this Nigeria? The profligacy of this government is unprecedented in the annals of Nigerian history. I stand to be corrected if it were not so. But when you look at the way things are done, every government, you must have there must be something that can be attached to you. I'm not saying Obasanjo is a saint. He also enjoyed some considerable flaws during his tenure as president. But if someone, debt is also a kind of a word that countries are being, coerced to, into the ranks of poverty-stricken nation. If your debt is humongous, then all what you will be, instead of channeling the little amount that is coming from your resources to productive use, you'll be using it to service debt. And it will continue to become a recurring decimal, like a heavy weight standing on your neck. So, yes, whereby your debt is being written off, and you cannot start from a clean stem place and continue to rise from there. Instead, you continue to do the same thing, business as usual. And what do we have today? We still have humongous debt staring us in the face. And if we continue like this, how can productive enterprise be embraced? That is what we have come to find ourselves. Obasanjo, I still have to give him kudos. For the little time, he gave us a semblance of governance. Because during his tenure too, technocrats, they came to Nigeria. Most of the people, a case in point, I don't just talk something that is not realistic. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is the Director General of the World Trade Organization, under whose government did she serve? Under Obasanjo. The same Femi Adesina, who is the African Development Bank president. he served under this thing. OBS Ekwesili, he served under OBJ. Even Soludo, the present governor of Anambra State, this was CBN governor during his own time. I can continue to reel out names of technocrats. It's not party government. Government is supposed to add value to the livelihood of every citizen in a given territory or country. It's supposed not to be other way around. In a situation whereby governance is not being experienced and feel right by the people within that call themselves citizens, then that government is a failure.
Many Nigerians wonder if our challenge is truly leadership or broken system beyond repair. Looking at what Obasanjo cited, the example of China, lifting 700 million people out of poverty. Why has Nigerian government failed so badly in that aspect?
Mike, they will continue to fail. Even this government will fail. Even if Obi come, they will continue to fail.
Even if Obi come,
yes, unless the right thing is being done.
Which means the system is broken beyond repair. Is that what?
Of course, now, of course. Who's going to tell you that?
For you to have said, even
yes, yes. You know why I said even Obi comes. If Obi comes and decided to toe the same line, we are seeing today.
What line?
Mike, the problem is, apart from the country is in a big threat. If there's leadership, these things will stop in less than a period of time.
To stop
completely.
Quality leadership.
Yes, because what do you need to get the National Assembly? What do you do to get the House of Rep members? How do you coerce them? How do you bring them? How do you lobby them to your own agenda of good leadership? That's the fact, because there's also a problem. Then, secondly, when China announced that they have conquered poverty in year 2000, that nobody in China will be hungry by the year 2000, what did they do? Do you know what I'm saying? When Singapore did their own, what do they do? Mike, I told you that, very simple. If it is electricity alone, electricity, light, power supply, make sure that Nigeria does not have power failure. Even if you are able to achieve that in 8 years, it will add more economic value than when we wait for government to start implementing World Bank-driven policies on Nigeria. They tell you, they dictate to you, they tell you what to do at the end of the day. Knowing fully well that the money they are giving to you as loan, you are going to steal it and return it back to them. That is it. Who is going to bear the cat? Because them too know that they have so much wealth, they have so much money, they have everything around them. But they know that over 200 million Nigerians on the street are watching them with their eyes open. Watch them drive convoy, 300 cars, one person. They are watching. The day it will start, that's what Obasanjo is telling you. They are watching. Bros, we have tested them during SARS. You see what happened? Everybody on the run. Shut down all the airport. Let us deal with our problem. Where is this thing coming from? Look at somebody stole 80 billion. How will Nigeria work 80 billion and still walking around? Somebody is claiming, I brought the Boko Haram. Me and Obama did this. We are the one that brought them. So that this thing, they know, government know, they're not doing anything. You saw, you go and read Transition Hours by Jonathan. You see where those things were mentioned. And even before that time, somebody was saying that the head of a baboon will flow if I don't do this and not do that. And you can imagine the number of youth couples that were killed in the north. Why is it that the south is not killing? Why is it that the south is not infiltrating northern forest and deal with them the way they are dealing with people here? And why is it the government quiet over this issue? Why is it there's no collective will? Mike, Nigeria is not one. No, bro, make we know they talk and say unity. Those who are talking about unity, ask them in the National Assembly there. The unity is just your pocket. How much are you putting inside your pocket? Until we get that kind of leader, president, that will call a spade. Uproot anything that need to be uprooted and let Nigerians breathe for once. That's the only way. But you see this alliance, I control you, you control me, I sell you, bros, aluta continua. There's no two ways about it.
All right, so yes, I'm still coming back to you, Mr. Vincent. Can Nigeria rise out of poverty without first dealing with these corrupt politicians?
You see,
Because you cited that leadership problem is what we are facing now. And corruption is part of it.
You cited China initially before we actually with the real thing. But one thing that I want to bring to your notice is that it takes the collective will of the people within a given territory to say they want to do this, and they all abide to it, hook, line, and sinker. Nigeria, you see, why our problem has why have we become the way we are now is because the templates because an amalgam of people with different peculiarities, very cautious, were circumscribed into one territory called Nigeria. Instead of sitting down and discussing our differences and see how we can live together, we have been circumscribed into one territory called Nigeria by those colonialists. Then you continue to wonder, how can you cannot play something on nothing. You can always play something on something. And that is why you continue to see what is being seen now and experienced in our polity. Because we cannot continue like this. When you look at the spate of killings, the inadequacies in all the spheres of our national life, it goes to show you that all is not well with our body policy. And I will keep on saying it again and again, except the ground norm. One of the big lies that has been forced on us. One, the Constitution. You and I never sat down. My father never sat down with anybody to say this is people-oriented Constitution. It was fostered by military adventurism or hegemony on Nigerians, and it's an affront to our collective sensibility as a people. Up to this moment, military fostered a constitution. We have had successive civilian government in this country. Nobody could come out with a workable document. Up to this present moment, there is a slap on us. If by saying so, it shows that the fostered system of democracy that is being fostered by all these colonial powers and the Western and their cohorts on Nigeria is not working. If you ask for my candid opinion, I will say before the advent of the colonialists, there was a way we used to govern ourselves. We have our own traditional way of governing ourselves. Why can't we go back to that? That is what is being playing now. That is being played now in Burkina Faso by Traore.
All right, to the comment section before I let you guys go. Chuk is saying, as long as Nigeria is not willing to catch Buhari on a show. Okay. On to the next one, Christopher Kweze. Say good morning. He's watching us all the way from Houston, Texas. Thank you so much for joining us. Buki Astrop is also here this morning. Buki Astrop, welcome you on the program. All right, thank you so much. Where is my Biafra brother, Mr. Femi Chuks Benedict? Is after Mr. Femi.
Shalom. Right.
All right, the next one, Pius Yekaba is here. He's watching us from Italy. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Michael, and our reviewers. And we say good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much. Chris is also here. Buhari openly said he wants the entire Nigerian country to become an Islamic Sharia country, and all he did during his tenure was promoting Islamic Sharia movement.
My brother, listen, I said it very well. To solve Nigerian problem, when I look at America, United States of America, America has 13 colonies currently now in United States of America. In those 13 colonies, there are areas, there are states you go to, you discover that this area, they have more blacks. There's the area you go, you see that this one is dominated by the Chinese. There's area you go, you see another color and all that. You know, they are all independent. That's a fact. With how many countries? Talking about Nigeria that have maybe less than 13 or 3 or whatever, you know, let me just say 3. They cannot be able to move forward. So the thing is that, let us return back to Aburi. If it is a shame, they should swallow their pride. Gowon is running away from Plateau. Are you not hearing it? The people he fought for has come against him. Danjuma is saying, "Arm yourself." But these are the people we are never able to see the future tomorrow. So return Nigeria to Aburi. Let us try confederation. Since this, bros, go and listen to Fela and Nicola Pokuti. He said, demonstration of grace, not be democracy. But people did not understand. Okay, you see, Olisa Abakoba, former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, said democracy is no longer working. What does that tell you? Then Fela has already given them a solution. That's what he's talking about. Can we go back to our tradition and culture? They ask them a question. Who is government teacher? Brother, they ask you, who is government teacher? Bro, we are far away with this westernization. That is the problem. Everybody is back ahead. Okay, even if we have gotten to that level, when we are faced with challenges, what do? Can't you look for a solution? Solution now is that instead of us falling into the conquest and triggering uprising where Nigeria can turn to Somalia or Rwanda anytime, any day, why not use this opportunity and go for Aburi, confederation, regionalism?
And if that will bring solution to
at least, bros, when a government cannot save life and property, there is no government.
Yes. All right, on to the next one. Victor Amara is here and is saying greetings to everyone from Valencia. Thank you so much for joining us, watching us from Valencia. That's Spain. Spain. Okay. Andrew Gujimi, Sultan of Sokoto, will not talk about Boko Haram. You are reporting malaria to mosquito.
Exactly. Yes, Andrew Gujimi, you are quite right. Because you see, how can somebody who is who caused a problem also be in a team that will go and search or be looking for solution for that problem? That has always been the case of Nigeria. Majority of the people that we think that they hold enviable position in our society, they themselves are criminals. They are degenerates. They don't have any moral standing to stand in the public space and say yes, they are righteous.
All right, Ayola Olatunji, please like the broadcast. Please share, like, and comment. All right, thank you so much, Ayola Olatunji, for that. Please, everyone in the comment section, everyone watching, please help us share and like. Share it to people. Share it on your pages. Share it on your platforms, please. Very, very important. Okay, Emmanuel Oguji. Michael, you are doing well. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Oguji. We appreciate you. Obasanjo, this is Chris on Obasanjo. Obasanjo was busy creating 10 billionaires in Nigeria rather than uplifting and creating conditions that will benefit all. Chicks Benedict, let's support City Stand in any way we can. I always watch to catch fun because that country is just a joke. I don't want to go. All right, no problem. Ayola Olatunji, Peter Obi will do better than the career criminal Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All right. Alec, Obasanjo has been in the corridors of power for so long. Their policies turned Nigeria towards the wrong trajectory. It should sit down. Ayola Olatunji on this again. When Obi was governor of Anambra State, he didn't have party members as majority in the assembly, yet he managed to govern well. Bakersfield, Nigeria needs to swallow our pride and learn from the AES countries. Chris Olatunji, my brother, okay, is responding to that. David Okaba is also here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's greeting Mr. Vincent, Mr. Chinedu Michael, and we still have many messages coming in. Gladys Oyabo is also here. Chief Udeze Chima is also here. Francisca is here. Good morning to you. Obasi Henry, thank you so much. All right, let's give others a chance to speak this morning. Thank you so much, Onyeze. Your 10,000 naira has been sent to me.
City Stand.